From the brand new album for Mike Rudd and Bill Putt, the album Living on a Volcano, and a track called I Cannot Look at the Moon. And with me now in the studios are the two gentlemen concerned. G'day, Mike and Bill.
Hi, John.
Hey. Welcome back to our welcome to our new studios.
Yes, far more salubrious.
Well, at least we can all see each other this time.
Yeah, it's square.
Bit more convenient, yeah. So congratulations on the new album.
Oh, thanks, John.
Be your first venture on CD, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yes. And the new technology and the new format.
Yeah. But that was all fun to play with.
And still is, yes.
So what period of time do these recordings cover? Because I remember last time you were here, I think you'd already started at that stage, hadn't you?
Yes, it's been a very long project in the sense that we probably started writing for this in 1985. In fact, I think the title track was probably written in that year. And so it's taken quite a long time to realise it. In fact, probably technology has moved on in the interim.
So we've got songs covering almost a 10-year lifespan.
That's
there.
right.
Yeah. Wow. And who's behind Volcano Records that put the album out?
Well, that's basically us and Mike Brady, who is involved in it on the executive production side. Mm-hmm. And yes, we've started off with a limited release to start off with. This is not the most desirable time of the year to be landed with a release, unless you've got a best of, really.
You're going to get caught up in the Christmas rush, yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So we're doing it, keeping this fairly close to our chest initially, and making the first 1,000 at least kind of special, and numbering them all and signing as many as we possibly can as well. So yes, the initial 1,000 we will probably dispose of before we get cracking next year.
Mm-hmm. And how's it selling so far?
Very well. So we're told.
Yeah, look, we're just about hands-on with this. In the past, we've with our Spectrum and Aerial Records, they've been with large companies, and you kind of feel like once you've recorded it gets you lose possession of the thing. It doesn't seem to be totally yours anymore, and this. At this stage, it feels like it's a fully hands-on experience, and so we're very well acquainted with where the thing's going and how it's selling, and it's doing very well. I mean, we're really happy with it so far, and we're getting a lot of good feedback too from people that have bought it and they're buying it for other people. So, we're tremendously pleased with it.
Yes, I'm one of those. I'm sending some copies up to Queensland tomorrow. So.
Oh, excellent.
Did you consider taking it to a major label at all, or was never in?
Look, we're more concerned with pointing it in the right direction to start off with, because we have the feeling with large corporations, it not only becomes that kind of impersonal thing, but they have a way of treating every product, and we want to distinguish this product and to start off with and point it in the right direction, say this is where it's going, so that that maybe at a later stage it can be picked up by a major, and they can do the thing that they do very well, which is hitting as many people at the same time as they possibly can. But we'd like to point it in the right direction to start off with. So, yeah, look, that's always in the... it's always in the possibility for next year. Yes.
So it may see another life.
Oh, look, I'd say so.
Yeah,
it definitely will, one way or the other, whether it's with a major or with a minor or whatever. It'll be resuscitated next year and be given another boot.
Right, so we're just testing the waters at the moment, more or less.
So that's right, and we're really pleased with the way
it's showing the way, because there was actually, to answer your question, it was yes, but we never got the right responses from the people involved, so it was better off to do it ourselves, point it in the right direction, and then they can go, oh gee, that's where you're going, and kick in with it, we hope.
Got to lead them the way. Yeah. What we're going to do tonight is play a few tracks from the album and talk a bit about them, and get you to finish off with a live one later on tonight, which will take a lot of people off my back that have been bugging me to get you to do this song. But having a wonderful time. We'll start off with that one. What can you tell us about it?
Well, that's one of the more recent songs, but it's probably a song which is it's a statement of well, it's like a postcard, and it basically says, well, you've been away and you've come back, and it almost says that the situation that we're in at the moment, like we've had a sort of 10-year hiatus, and this is our postcard, and we're having a wonderful time, and we have been having a wonderful time.
And we're back in business.
And we're back.
We've got Mike Rudd and Bill Putt in the studios talking about their new album, Living on a Volcano. Going through the list of credits on the album, I noticed a couple of familiar music type names, Ross Ryan and Mark Gillespie. What was their involvement?
They were more on the design of the cover.
Oh, were they?
As opposed to any musical or lyrical content.
Well, yes, Mark was in fact responsible for the original image that's on the Volcano.
The Volcano
image.
drawing, yeah.
And which I've subsequently borrowed, and Ross lent us some of his equipment. But he's one of those guys that we've known for a lot of years. We came across Ross in the days of Ariel, and he toured with us at one stage, or we toured with him, and we've known him since then. He moved down from Sydney to Melbourne, and we've been great buddies ever since.
Is he still active musically? You don't see his name around.
He did a 2-year retirement. He said, I'm retiring, and he retired, and then he met a new lady and fell in love and started writing again. So he just bought himself some new gear, and he's got a little studio in Glen Iris where him and a guitar playing buddy of his writing new stuff. And I've heard a few tracks, and I think it's head and shoulders over what he's done in the past.
So there's another comeback album in the mist
somewhere along the line.
Yeah. Almost Hollywood.
Yes. Well, that was one of the songs that appeared on our original demo tape that we gave to Mr. Brady. He ended up with at one stage, and that's one of the songs that has evolved in the interim, because the original music room tape that we demoed was a lot more kind of synthesizer based and a lot more obviously synthesizer based than this album has turned out to be. And I think our experience in the last 2 or 3 years of playing as a duo, which was a novelty to us. I think probably the last time we were here, we played a few numbers, and it's very obviously a 2-guitar thing as opposed to a huge backing kind of trip, and so the guitars have kind of moved forward in the arrangement, and it has evolved in that way a little bit. I think that takes the sweat out of it altogether. But it's still very rich and very lush, and particularly this song, it's a very evocative song.
Almost Hollywood from Living on a Volcano, Mike Rudd and Bill Putt, and they're here tonight talking about the album. Your lovely wife Helen's out there in the office, and she contributed a few songs to the album.
Yes, well, that was actually quite handy because, it was more than handy, but I've been responsible for most of the lyrics over a lot of years, and I just happened to strike a period of time where lyrics weren't coming really freely, and whilst we were fiddling around in the music room, Helen was in the kitchen writing things that sometimes were related to what we were playing with in the music room, and eventually we found we were kind of doing a collaboration, and some of the songs just fitted in beautifully. Some of the songs I'd come up with an initial idea, and she was able to complete it, and some songs she wrote completely wrote the lyrics for.
So do you think the collaboration brought something out in your writing that wasn't there before?
Well, I think so, because Bill was unaware that I'd written the lyrics for one of the songs.
We saw it coming. I thought that was a Helen song.
Yes, so it's brought out perhaps an area that I haven't been strong in the past. I mean, I've been kind of into bent, sardonic, all those kind of things that people say. I've been there, and possibly I've painted myself into a corner because I've covered just about every warpedism that there is available. But yes, I think that's definitely right. I mean, Helen's been able to to put her approach, I wouldn't call it a strictly feminine approach, but it's certainly, well, if you're going to make an observation about male songwriters, they're very keen on being clever and smart and so forth, and I fit into that category perfectly. And Helen has got a much more kind of direct, maybe even a simple, but certainly a more truthful approach, and that definitely has a resonance in the music.
Great. And what was your hand in the writing of the songs, Bill?
I contributed a fair bit of music for it. I wrote both instrumentals on it. That Almost Hollywood song, I came up with the 2 chords and that feel. And I'd been fiddling. One of the first songs I ever learned to play on a guitar was Dream Baby by Roy Orbison. It's got 2 chords in it. And that always blew me away, that a guy could sit down and write a song with 2 chords and make $1 squillion. So this particular day, as an exercise for myself, I thought I want to put 2 chords together and make it work so it doesn't sound too repetitious or too boring. And I came up with those 2 particular chords, took it over to Michael and picked up his guitar, and we were off, and Helen wrote the lyrics, and there you go.
Well, we hope you all end up with $1 squillion.
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice,
2 chords, thank you.
Did you drag out the old bass at all on the album?
No, never.
Not at all?
I don't have an old bass anymore. I don't have a new one.
Don't have a bass at all?
No.
So any other musos on the album at all besides you guys?
Well, apart from the second track you played, Enzo Pantano appears on all the tracks that she sings, and it blends very well with our voices. And Bill sings too, which is a bit of a novelty, but because nobody realised he could sing.
No chance of a lead vocal on the next one?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah?
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, look, it's a source of amazement that he's actually progressed to singing and playing at the same time. I mean, this is like walking and talking.
Could be a solo career for Bill Putt, maybe. Now that you've had a chance to sit back and listen to the finished product, anything you wish you'd done differently?
Well, this is a novelty for us because, in fact, we haven't actually heard it on radio before, so it's sounding quite good. I mean, all the stages we've taken it through, it's actually improved from the recording and then into the mastering stage. We've managed to keep it on an upward path. So, look, we've been thrilled with it all so far, and we're still being excited by it.
Great. And we'll take the title track, which I think you said goes back a few years.
It does, and in fact, this track and the second track, Indian Summer, are a result of a different session. I know a lot of albums these days, in particular, come from different studios and so forth, but yes, this comes from our initial sessions 3 years ago now, and most of the material that we recorded at that stage, we rejected the final mix, except for these 2 tracks. And this, as I say, is probably the first track that we wrote for the album. At that stage, we didn't realise we were going to be doing an album. It was just a fun thing to do.
The title track of "Living on a Volcano" from Mike Rudd and Bill Putt. And Mike Rudd and Bill Putt are here tonight talking about the album. In the time that I've known you guys, I don't think I've ever been struck by the fact that you guys are too concerned about being out of the limelight. That'd be a fair comment?
Yeah, well, you're either in it or you're out of it, or both of it. It doesn't really matter.
Just happy to play along.
No, just whatever's going on.
Yeah.
As I think at the time we went down the tube, we were kind of glad to fall over and not have to worry about anything. In fact, I remember feeling quite good about having to get a day job. And it didn't last long, but... and not have to go on the road and do all these rotten gigs where we shouldn't have been, doing it because we had to. We were desperate. So it was kind of nice to just kick back and forget about it.
Mm-hmm. You guys must have, I'd say, you must hold a record for the longest standing partnership in Australian music. You ever stop to wonder or think why that would be?
No, we let other people do that.
Yeah, it's better not to try and...
Not to think about it.
Yes.
Fair enough.
I don't want to analyse those things, because I can remember being a small kid with a truck, my favourite truck, and when I pulled it apart and found out how it worked, I didn't want it anymore.
That's a good analogy. I must remember. Yeah. Good point.
It's the same with Ariel. I remember the day we had this horrible band meeting at Philip Jacobson's house, and we analysed how the band worked, and from then on it was all downhill. A year later, no more band.
So that's the key. Don't stop to think about
Don't analyse it, yeah. Lose the magic.
We'll take one more track from the album before I get you to run out and grab your guitars. We Saw It Coming. It's from a show, or was planned for a musical of some sort?
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's actually for our second musical. The first musical never saw the light of day, and this one hasn't either at this stage. But no, and it's, as I say, Bill was quite shocked to discover that I'd wrote the lyrics for this one. But I had a picture in my mind that the show kind of gave me a good picture to work with, and it sets up a really kind of poignant situation where two former lovers meet again, and for a moment they think they can reignite what they had before, but then they both mutually realise that it was a tautology for you, that it wasn't going to work.
Fair enough. And here it is. As We Saw It Coming from Living on a Volcano with Mike Rudd and Bill Putt, who are here tonight and have kindly donated a copy of the CD, which I'll give away a little bit later on, so hang out for that. Live work coming up to promote the album, or just live work in general. What's happening?
Well, as you mentioned before, we're fairly laid back about all this live work stuff, and we'd prefer to do gigs where we actually enjoy ourselves and people can listen in comfort and so forth to the music the way we like presenting it. We're presenting it mostly in duo form at the moment, although playing as a trio with Enzo is the best way of doing this music. We're doing duo work up until Christmas on Sundays at the Universal Cafe in Hawthorne. Mm-hmm. It's just virtually opposite Swinburne.
That's right.
Tech. And we're doing it from 2 till 6 in the afternoon in the courtyard when weather permitting at the Universal Cafe.
And if weather does permit, take your sunglasses. I can promise you that. So you're happy to keep playing those type of venues? No thoughts of expanding them further and going back to the pubs or all that?
Oh, look, that's exactly what Bill was saying before. You know, we want to do it the way that we want to do it. You know, it's pointless doing gigs that aren't suitable for the kind of music that we're presenting. Mm-hmm. So, if it's a good gig, we'll do it. If it's not, we'll consider it, when we won't do it. Okay. Well, the Universal Cafe is the place to be on Sunday afternoons. Up until Christmas, I'm surely I'll be there a few times to catch you guys. Great. Well, the more people, the merrier. It's a lovely venue, and we sound the way we want to sound there, so it's terrific. Nice surroundings out there in the courtyard. What about a follow-up album, or is that well, another 3 years down the track? Look, I would imagine that if there's a demand for another album, we've got the material. I mean, we've been doing this for the last 10 years, and we've got just heaps and heaps of material there that in various stages, mind you, and I'd say that we'd have at least another album's worth that we could put together at a reasonable speed. Terrific. Okay. Reasonable for us. Yeah. I won't hold you guys up any longer. Oh no, it's been enjoyable. Yep. Thank you again for coming out to see us. Pleasure. And it's always a pleasure to see you. We're going to go out with a song that people might know, and the song that people have been bugging me to ask you to play. I made a point of not asking you last time. Oh, we'll do it for you. It's a song that's been around since we've been around, basically. It's called "I'll Be Gone." Someday I'll have money. Money isn't easy come by. By the time it's come by, I'll be gone. I'll sing my song and I'll be gone. loving. Loving isn't easy come by. By the time it's come by, I'll be gone. I'll sing my song and I'll be gone. Living a life of luxury doesn't seem to be for me. Be for me. Moving around comes naturally. Moving around and feeling free. That's for me. Someday I'll have money. Money isn't easy come by. By the time it's come by, I'll be gone. I'll sing my song and I'll be gone. Living a life of luxury doesn't seem to be for me. Be for me. Moving around comes naturally. Moving around and feeling free. That's for me. Someday I'll have money. Money isn't easy come by. Loving isn't easy come by. Neither of them easy come by.
Beautiful. Thanks for that, guys. Much appreciated. And thanks for coming down to see us again. Mike Rudd and Bill Putt, you can catch them on Sunday afternoons at the Universal Cafe in Hawthorne right up until Christmas. And I hope you shift those 1,000 autographed copies by Christmas.
No worries. Thanks very much, John. Most enjoyable. Thank you.
Living on a Volcano, available at Hippo Records and
Basement
at the Basement as well. Thanks, guys.